watching CNC3.
A very good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. I'm Akash Samaru. The Ministry of Homeland Security has secured an early shipment of 8,000 passport booklets, providing relief to the country's depleted stock. CNC3 News understands the machine-readable booklets have already arrived in Trinidad and Tobago weeks ahead of their expected delivery in early September. Another 40,000 booklets are expected between September 30th and October 7th, bringing the total shipment to 48,000. The arrival comes amid reports of lengthy delays for some people applying for new or renewed passports. The additional booklets will support an existing passport system as the government moves toward the introduction of electronic passports. In other news, salary negotiations between WASA and the PSA are progressing as scheduled, with the process expected to reach the Ministry of Public Utilities by Friday. This is according to Minister of Public Utilities and Line Minister for WASA, Barry Padarat, who gave the update on Wednesday following the distribution of book grants at his Coover South constituency office on Camden Road. Padarat said he spoke with WASA acting CEO Dane Maraj and was satisfied with the progress being made. He said he had visited WASA headquarters on Monday and met with the PSA president and members of the executive to ensure negotiations move toward without unnecessary delays. Minister Padarat said more details would be provided on Friday when the negotiations are formally handed over to the Public Utilities Ministry. Former National Security Minister and PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez is defending his decision to question what arrangements were in place after Police Commissioner Alistair Guevaro's trip abroad. Guevaro, in a statement yesterday, chastised those he accused of trying to stir scandals surrounding him leaving the country, as he maintained that proper protocols were followed. However, Gonzalez, in a Facebook post yesterday, maintained raising such concerns ought not to be ascribed to sinister political motives, as such issues were legitimate questions relating to the public interest. Gonzalez said he never questioned the competence of the officers to lead the service in the commissioner's absence, but argued that proper legal mechanisms were still needed for an acting police commissioner to be appointed, saying, quote, "Trinidad and Tobago is a serious country governed by the rule of law and a written constitution. It is not a parlor," end quote. Meanwhile, the People's National Movement says it has begun implementing recommendations from an internal inquiry aimed at resolving the dispute within its San Fernando East constituency. PNM Chairman Marvin Gonzalez says an inquiry team was appointed last month after the party received correspondence from both MP Brian Manning and constituency chairman Patricia Alexis. The team met with both sides and their witnesses before submitting a report with findings and recommendations. Gonzalez says the report has since been considered by the party's leadership, central executive, and general council, and action is now being taken. However, he did not disclose the findings or what specific actions have been implemented. The PNM chairman is also warning against public exchanges of allegations, saying they could prejudice the ongoing process and damage individual reputations. He says the party will continue working with Manning and Alexis and constituency members towards a resolution. Former Energy Minister Stuart Young is defending the PNM's record on the restructuring of Atlantic LNG, arguing that the agreement completed in December 2023 is responsible for higher revenues now being earned by the National Gas Company and the state. In a Facebook post, Young said the restructuring was conceived as a PNM policy in 2018 and involved 5 years of negotiations with energy companies BP and Shell. He described the restructuring as unprecedented globally, claiming it had never previously done elsewhere. Young said the agreement delivered 3 key benefits to Trinidad and Tobago: higher gas prices for NGC and the state, a new 10% shareholding across all Atlantic LNG, and an increase in the number of LNG cargoes NGC could sell. He argued that these benefits are now translating into increased revenues. After 7 years behind closed doors, the Arima Town Hall is once again open to the public. But the reopening comes with questions about the project's cost and the delays that pushed its completion far beyond its original timeline. Opposition leader and Arima MP Penelope Beckle says COVID-19 and additional requests forced a variation back to cabinet.
But the issue is it started and the cost that was originally agreed to because of COVID and some additional requests, the matter had to go back to cabinet. And it ended up that the variation costed more than the original request.
For Arima Mayor Baliram Maharaj, the reopening was a significant moment for Arima and represented much more than the restoration of a building. He called on residents to take ownership of the facility and become involved in shaping the future of the borough. Well, following reports that a series of bomb threats to several government buildings and a shopping mall triggered evacuations yesterday, police are advising the public to follow evacuation drills to ensure their safety. Responding to questions during CNC3's Morning Brew program today, Police Media Ambassador ASP Obi Russell said specially trained units were equipped to respond to such threats. He also urged the public not to risk their lives by going back into buildings for personal items.
We want to caution persons against going back for their bags, going back for their personal belongings and items, or even trying to drive out of the parking lot with your vehicle.
And this is why drills are important too.
This is why drills are important.
Meanwhile, on the topic of stand your ground legislation, Russell said while the law allowed people to defend themselves, it was not a license to kill, as he stressed homeowners to respond with appropriate force as they too may face legal action for excessive force.
You're not mandated to retreat. Yes, we want you to defend yourself, but we must be proportionate defense based on what you honestly believe.
Yeah.
So that even if it has to go before a court, the judge, the master, the magistrate could say, well, based on what is before me, I am satisfied that you acted proportionally.
Russell also reminded the public that in order to respond with serious force, a person must feel that their life or the life of a loved one is under serious threat. An 80-year-old El Socorro man was rescued by police after being beaten and kidnapped by his landlord on Wednesday afternoon. Police say the elderly man was at his apartment when he was confronted by his landlord, who beat him with a wooden broom handle before allegedly stealing $50 in cash. The landlord then allegedly forced the pensioner into his car and drove him to a gas station on Cyrus Road before ordering him to get out and withdraw $1,000 from an ATM inside. The elderly man got out of the car and called for help from police officers who were in the parking lot. The police officers questioned the landlord and arrested him. The 43-year-old suspect was taken to the Barataria police station, where he remained in police custody. Let's take a break. Sports is up next.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle from the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air. Like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. And the kids, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
With the cold and flu lurking around every corner, keeping your immune system strong allows you to live the life that you want every day. Discover BioStrath Immune Health. BioStrath Immune Health is a unique plasmalized yeast product that enhances the absorption of essential micronutrients, ensuring that your body stays resilient. And now enriched with zinc, it is your go-to support for immunity. Staying vibrant and healthy just became a whole lot easier. BioStrath Immune Health. Get what you need naturally.
Your Majesty, what comes after victory? Growth.
History's greatest rulers never stop at the triumph. They build what comes next. Finance your next chapter with First Line Securities, helping Trinidad and Tobago invest for over 2 decades. Invest with us. Go to firstlinesecurities.com to begin investing today.
tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Welcome back. Guyana Amazon Warriors made light work of their 7-wicket win over St. Lucia Kings last evening at the Darren Sammy Stadium in St. Lucia. The Kings were sent into bat first and scored 151 for 7 in 20 overs. Charat Asalanka top scored with 35 and Idris Goose scored 20. Dwayne Pretorius was Warriors' best bowler with 3 for 29 and Shamar Joseph chipped in with 2 for 25. In reply, Guyana Amazon Warriors reached 157 for 3. Mavindra Dindyal made 50 and Glenn Phillips scored 36 as they won by 7 wickets. Mahesh Tikshana took 2 for 33 in a losing cause for the Kings. Meanwhile, the St. Lucia Kings and Afghanistan left-arm wrist spinner Nur Ahmad will miss the CPL 2026 season. According to the Crick Info website, Afghanistan's cricket board revoked his no objection certificate. The franchise in a statement said Ahmad will no longer be available to represent the St. Lucia Kings for the remainder of the tournament. The Kings statement added that while disappointed, they wished him all the best. The King also stated Tim Seifert, the New Zealand opening batter and wicketkeeper, will now join soon and add firepower to the top order. Stay with us. More news when we come back.
We finally said yes to onion rings. Now it's your turn to say yes to the new KFC onion ring chicken sandwich for $34.95 or get a regular side of rings for just $15. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
You can tell from the crowd who's up next. It's Trinray's star player, whose world-class stats put him in a league of his own. Trinray's risen to become a true force to be reckoned with. With an unbeaten Carry A rating, they boast a strong solvency and A-class service. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing Trinray's financial and technical strength at its best.
Trinray, premier insurance coverage for less.
Great deals with PRW Back to School. Save big with a laptop starting from $3,250. Samsung A9 tablet only $1,199. Printers from $650. Smart TVs from $1,150. 27-inch curved monitor $1,399. Wireless headphones $240. HP and Epson inks available. Call PRW today.
Is mealtime more of a chore than a cherished time? Does a lack of appetite keep your family, young and old, from getting the nourishment they need? Introducing Apetamin, the gentle, effective appetite stimulant designed for every age. Apetamin helps spark the natural desire to eat, turning hesitant nibbles into satisfying meals. Watch as food becomes exciting again, fueling growth, energy, and shared moments around the table. Give your body the gift of a joyful appetite. Find Apetamin in pharmacies nationwide.
Now for a look at the weather. Today's forecast shows cloudy periods with light to moderate rainfall interrupted by settled conditions. There is a medium chance of isolated heavy showers with conditions expected to become generally settled by the evening. Gusty winds and street or flash flooding are possible in areas prone. Seas will be moderate with waves between 1.5 and 2 meters in open waters and up to 1 meter in sheltered areas. Maximum temperatures are expected to reach 32 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 31 in Tobago. Well, thank you for joining us for a look at the day's developments so far. We will have these stories and, of course, much more in our major newscast at 7 p.m. today. Until then, have a great afternoon.